So this is my first ever Q&A video. I would like to thank everybody who sent in questions. In fact, I got so many questions that I'm going to make a second video. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. What I do have are a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go, that will be the end of this. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. Back to the questions. Is mind-muscle connection overrated? If you do an exercise with perfect form, shouldn't the correct muscles be automatically involved? Thus, no need to focus on mind-muscle connection. This question from Daniel Khan. Mind-muscle connection is one of those ambiguous terms which people have kind of made to mean whatever they want it to mean. And essentially, mind-to-muscle connection in itself is quite a vague term. And a lot of what you see is similar to functional fitness, where people just kind of manipulate that term to suit their sort of training philosophies. In my opinion, in my previous videos, I've kind of likened it and objectified it to focusing on your peak contraction, focusing on the quality of muscular contraction. Now, yes, perfect form will put your body into mechanical positions. When you perform the lift, you are hitting the target muscles, but there is absolutely validity in focusing on conscious peak contractions, focusing on the squeeze of each repetition, focusing on the stretch. What would be the best macro split for muscle building for beginner lifters? From Taj Gill. In my opinion, the word best is not really something that should be part of your fitness vocabulary. There are good ways of doing things, but really it comes to different ways of doing things. For beginners, in my opinion, to do an upper body, lower body split is extremely effective when you're working with frequency. So you will hit your upper body a few times a week. You'll hit your lower body a few times a week. Large compound movements, compound lifts, working as many muscle groups as you can within your lifts. You can do accessory work, but it should not be the focus of your training sessions. Another method which is extremely good for beginners is a form of volume training. Again, using compound lifts, your big four, your squat, deadlift, bench press, military press. With volume training, something like 10 sets of 10 can be extremely useful. And this from Cassian, what's your idea of a cheat meal? Well, since today is National Jordan Pickford Day, bear with me.
And the reaction here is the studio writing cardboard. And that will be mirrored.
Pizza, always pizza. That's the correct answer for this. There's no variation. Pizza is always the best cheat meal in every scenario. This one from Max. I wish you had an easier name to pronounce. Do you think a deadlift or variation needs to be incorporated in a hypertrophy phase? For example, I did a hypertrophy phase with a 2 times frequency of remaining deadlifts. However, I do not want to focus on it. I think I could not do it later in my workout as I get fatigued. Should I take it out or should I incorporate it? Deadlifting is absolutely essential. Within a macro cycle, within a 1-year training cycle, deadlifting, lifting heavy from the floor, is really a staple when it comes to strength, when it comes to muscle building, and also performance. One thing that elite coaches all have in common is the importance that's placed on the deadlift. The deadlift also for athletic performance is really second to none. Louis Simmons from Westside Barbell talks about this. However, it's in your case, when it comes to programming, you've been Romanian deadlifting and now you've got to a point where it sounds like you want to change it up. You're kind of fearful of, should I take out this important exercise? Well, yes, you can, because you're thinking about putting it later in your workout session when you're fatigued. If you're fatigued, if you're not overly comfortable with the deadlift and you're not really fancying doing it in this current cycle, just take it out. As simple as that. Take it out, put in another posterior chain exercise, change up your exercise and programming. So absolutely, don't be fearful of taking the big four out of your training sessions. This is from Flickerman. Thoughts on the old chemical pharmaceuticals when it comes to YouTube fitness?
Everybody's on steroids.
Hi James, so I have a question which is, what is the optimal amount of exercise selections for calisthenics when it comes to strength building for pushing or pulling movements? So this is from Vernon Lee. So I'm assuming that you're talking about training calisthenics so then you can build your strength for weighted resistance movements, bench press, etc. When it comes to calisthenics, the amount of exercise selections can be very, very narrow. Essentially, with pull-ups and push-ups, for upper body, you can achieve a lot in terms of contributing to a transferable strength to other movements. Does it replace work on the bench press? No, it doesn't replace it, but it can contribute. So rather than thinking of many different types of exercise selection, take the big exercises, the big calisthenic exercises, program it in a non-linear way. Use a conjugated method of periodization. Don't necessarily train for volume and muscle growth. Train for power. Use very advanced, powerful push-up and pull-up movements, plyometric push-ups, round-the-world pull-ups. You can do commando pull-ups. There are essentially pull-up, weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups as well. There are advanced pull and pushing calisthenic exercises where you can push somewhere or pull 3 to 6 reps. Focus on power, and also if you have a specific weak angle, you can introduce isometrics. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the pushing or pulling movements you're referring to are, but my advice to you, don't just go through the normal volume push-ups and pull-ups. Use advanced methods of pull-ups and push-ups and work for lower rep ranges with more power. Is creatine safe for a 16-year-old, 6'3", 165 pounds? I've been told it can help you gain 10 to 15 pounds of lean muscle over a long time, but have also heard it causes baldness and kidney problems, so side effects, as people likening it to steroids. Well, this is from Stony Field. No, creatine and steroids are nothing alike. Creatine essentially just gives you more energy. That's the basic way of thinking of creatine supplementation. It's quite hard to supplement as an adult male with creatine from food. So certainly supplement, if you're going to take creatine, supplementing using a supplement is most likely needed. But what it does is it acts on ADP to produce ATP. So it's an energy producing, contributing supplement. And so when you think of cause and effect, when you think of supplement and muscle building, it's not a direct cause and effect. Can it aid you in your energy and therefore aid you in muscle building? Yes, but there's more vital parts. Your consistency of training over time, the advanced nature of your programming and your training, not getting stuck in sort of a linear sort of basic workouts year round, changing up your training, and of course your nutrition over time. So from my point of view, I don't think creatine is something that you need to focus on. And this one from Sleeman 99. You can probably guess from this Q&A that I'm terrible at pronunciating profile names. I asked before, but again, it's okay. I want to know about the differences between push-pull legs versus training each muscle in a single day for muscle growth. Essentially, frequency. Push-pull legs, I love as a programming base. But again, even with a push-pull leg split, there's so many different ways you can train that. You can train that volume, you can train that heavy, you can pyramid it, you can train for performance, which is actually what I'm more about. And I'm going to be releasing videos about pushing for performance, which would be supersetted with external rotation, where you're going to ramp up the weight on each set. But I will make videos about that. The difference is frequency. With push-pull legs, most likely it's more condensed in your workout week, so you can hit it twice a week, and frequency is extremely important in muscle growth. And so I love that. With a sort of bro split, more sort of chest day, chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, shoulders and traps, and maybe you're going to have an abs and accessory day. It could be 5 or 6 days between hitting chest, so that's kind of the disadvantage. But then the advantage to a sort of bro split would be that you can put more work on a specific muscle, and therefore you're going to create more breakdown of muscle tissue and stimulate the potential for protein synthesis. And also, if you're just focusing on one muscle group within a workout, you can really hit it from many angles, which can be extremely useful for developing the whole muscle. Muscles are served by different neural branches in terms of how motor units in a muscle are innervated. And so hitting muscles from many different angles is actually extremely important for muscle growth, but also for trying to avoid and prevent muscle imbalances. Again, it's not either or. You can do both. Again, from Pim Arts, thank you for reading. I would like to know your opinion on split versus full body programs. Full body feels more complete, but with splits, I notice more of a nice pump. So yeah, again, what I said in the previous answer, nothing wrong with that. Program your macro cycle, change it up, use both over time, and only you will know when those are most effective for you. From Kelsey, what to do if you're already doing a ton of volume per training session, and also if you're taking essential amino acids are beneficial. Essential amino acids are important to take through food because of their potential for aiding in protein synthesis and a positive nitrogen balance, and therefore allowing muscle to grow. So absolutely, protein is essential in your diet. If you're already doing a ton of volume, so it sounds like you're doing a lot of volume, perhaps you've hit a sticking point or a plateau. Very simple, just change up. Create a 4-week mesocycle, change up your programming. You have so many options. If you're tired of volume, go to the other end of the spectrum. You can do a 5x5. Pick a few compound workouts, do a 5x5. You have accessory exercises like weighted pull-ups or weighted dips that you can add in. You can do that. Also, pyramid training. If you want to keep your exercise selection the same, maybe you're not comfortable with sort of a heavy squat, etc., do the same exercises you're doing, but pyramid it. So instead of doing a high volume, you'll do sort of, for example, 5 sets. You can do 5 reps, 8 reps, 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps. So you've got a heavy sort of medium volume and then the high volume. But my advice to you is change it. The last one for today, M Athletes. Hi James, very nice comment. I appreciate that a lot. I'd like to get your opinion on reverse pyramid training for the main compound lifts in a routine. I feel it provides a nice balance and stimulus for training strength and hypertrophy. Although we know there's no such thing as hypertrophy rep range, but it does provide neural adaptation for the lower rep ranges. Absolutely outstanding comment. You clearly understand programming, and yes, it's reverse pyramid, any form of pyramid. I also like to use an ascending, descending pyramid. Reverse pyramids, absolutely fantastic way of programming. In terms of adding muscle mass, I always like to go to a form of pyramid training. And as you say, you get the best of both worlds in that you have that neural adaptation. You can also do a warm-up where you have a sort of neural charge. So if you're doing a bench pressing workout with reverse pyramid, you can have a sort of plyometric push-up in your warm-up, or you can have a medicine ball throw to create that neural charge, and then you're hitting your heavy bench press, which is activating the type 2X muscle fibers, as you've said. And then once you have that fatigue, you're continuing to hit the volume through the higher rep ranges. So most certainly, it's an absolutely outstanding way of programming. If you're somebody that's never done pyramid training, this is something I would really advise you to look into. A lot of the times we can get stuck into a sort of 3 sets of 10 routine because it's the most simple way to plan. Yes, that's very good, but pyramid training, and not only, the one thing that you will need to think about with pyramid training is the time between sets. Because if you have, let's say you have 5 sets and you're doing a heavy set and another heavy set and then a volume set, the time between the heavy sets needs to be enough to allow the muscle to recover so you can perform your next heavy set safely. However, when you go from the next heavy set, I'm going to change my fingers round. When you go to the next heavy set, to the volume set, you'll need to cut down that rest time because between volume sets, so you can keep fatigue and tension on the muscle. So one thing I would say to anyone when you're pyramid training is you need to be aware of your rest time between the sets, because that will influence your programming. And so take a stopwatch to the gym? Thank you very much for that question. So thank you for the questions. If I didn't answer your question, I've saved loads of them. I'm going to get to them and answer them. I'm going to make more videos. Shredded Sports Science. Next video, Jordan Peterson and his carnivore diet. I have to make a video after watching that. I'll see you soon.